Hi everybody! Finally, we have here the platformer that I promised long ago and that you have asked me for several times. I've tried to make it as simple as possible, but still this is not for beginners but for intermediate users because I wanted it to be decent, okay? So if you are ready, let's get started. Alright, let's begin removing the cat and adding a new sprite, which is gonna be the ground, alright? The level. So, no outline, the fill could be green, like grass. And let's make something like this. Alright, that's gonna be the ground. In this case, it doesn't need to be centered, okay? On the canvas, so you can leave it here basically because later we're going to add here a ramp and a kind of block, a floating platform and things like that. Okay, so let's place it there. That's gonna be ground, and now let's create our character, which is gonna be a box. Why a box? Because collisions are gonna be much easier to control and to program if it is a box than if it is a cat, for example, with the whiskers and the ears, the tail, and so on. So let's choose a sprite. No, sorry. We're gonna paint. And in this case, obviously this is gonna be centered. Let's change the color. Let's make something like this. If it is too big, resize it here or change the size here. That's what you want. And important, please, in this case, we're gonna center it. So the center is here, and now we place it over there, and this is gonna be, let's call it box. Okay, so let's code it, and we're gonna begin creating a variable which is gonna be the y velocity, or the vertical velocity, or the velocity in the vertical axis. Okay, so okay, y velocity. And as we did in the past video, well, in the past video, I referred to the jump and gravity video. At the beginning, we're gonna make the sprite appear here. So when green flag clicked, we're gonna go to the current position, this one, x negative 32, y 136, and we're gonna set y velocity to 0. So this is gonna start still, not moving, and forever we're going to apply gravity. So I'm gonna go to my blocks, make a block, I'm gonna create gravity, and we're going to run without screen refresh. Okay, you can place gravity here, and now let's define what gravity is. So if the box is not touching the ground, if it is in the air, we're going to increase y velocity. We're going to increase the force of the gravity. So in variables, well, first of all, if I'm going to reduce the size of it, in operators, if not touching ground, we're going to change y velocity, so the vertical velocity, by -1. Why -1? Because we want it to move down. I could have used here if and else. This, I'm referring to this block, but I'm gonna use again another if. And now, if we're touching the ground, we're gonna set y velocity to 0. So we're gonna stop moving. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, as you see, y velocity starts when we're not touching the ground, and so that the box moves, we have to change its y position by y velocity. So if y velocity increases, that's gonna affect its y position. So we're going to change y, we're gonna put it before gravity. We're gonna change y by y velocity. So as y velocity increases, the speed it moves downwards will be higher. Let's see. Okay, and when it touches the ground, it stops. Let's repeat it. Okay. So as you see, as it moves down, it increases its velocity. That's what gravity does, okay, with everybody. But there is a problem. I don't want it to penetrate the ground. I want it to be above the ground, okay, or on the ground. So we're gonna create another block. We're gonna run it without screen refresh as well, and this block is gonna be replace Y. And I'm gonna write here down, which means where we're moving downwards, okay? So we're gonna replace this box so that when it touches the ground, if it penetrates the ground a little bit, okay, it moves up instantly. So that it stops there. That's the idea, okay? So let's create this block. It's gonna be very simple. Basically, we're going to remember I've said run without screen refresh, so that's something our eyes are not gonna perceive. We're not gonna see it. That's gonna be done instantly. So as I was saying, we're going to change Y by 1 several times. So we're gonna move it upwards, and we're going to repeat this, change Y by 1, until we are not touching the ground. So the idea is that if we're here, we're gonna change Y by 1, 1, 1, 1, until we're here, okay? Until we're not touching the ground. Well, actually, until we're there, okay? 1 pixel above the ground. So, well, we can duplicate this and place it here. But if we end up being here, as we are not touching the ground, later that's gonna affect our program, because we will want to jump, and we are programmed the box to be able to jump when we are touching the ground. But here we are 1 pixel above the ground. So what are we gonna do? After this, we're going to change Y by -1, so that it's here. It is true that when it is here, as it is touching the ground, this is gonna start again, and we'll move it upwards again, and then here. But as this is done instantly, we're not gonna see it, okay? And now we are going to place this replace Y down here. All right. So let's try again, and let's see what happens. Okay, as you see now, it stops there. All right, so far so good. So now we're going to program the jump, and that's quite simple. Inside this forever loop, I'm gonna move it away. I'm gonna insert an if, and then let's add it here. It's gonna be very simple. I'm gonna say that if key up arrow, well, that depends on your program. If you want to jump by using the spacebar, you can use this, but I'm gonna jump using the up arrow. If key up arrow pressed, we're gonna set Y velocity to a positive number. For example, it could be 13. This number depends on how high you want your sprite to jump, okay? So this is something you can modify as you wish. And that should be okay. But there's gonna be a problem. Look, I can jump, and that works very well, but if I press twice, I have double jump, triple jump, so I can jump as many times as I want. And that's not what we want. Maybe in your program you want this, but in my case I don't, okay? I want only 1 jump. So I want my sprite to be able to jump only when I'm touching the ground. So that's the condition I'm going to add now. So if key up arrow pressed and the box is touching the ground, jump, which is set Y velocity to 13. So in operators, we will take an and the condition is gonna be if key up arrow pressed and I'm touching the ground, so in sensing, touching ground, or maybe instead of ground, maybe it's gonna be easier to select this color. Let me change this, because later that's gonna be better. look, with this tool, you can select exactly this color. And I'm gonna do the same for this. I'm sorry, change it. If you have used touching ground, use this. I know that for the moment it works, but for the rest of the program, that could be a problem. Okay, so here as well, where we put touching ground, change it, duplicate this and add the color. You will see it works anyway. Okay, let's try now. Okay, it stops here and now we jump, but I can only jump once. I promise I'm pressing the up arrow several times. If I hold it, it constantly jumps, okay? Alright, that's perfect. So please, I insist, if you added here touching ground, change it by touching color green. And by using this tool, you can select exactly that green, okay? Alright, so now we need the horizontal movement, okay? Very simple, it's gonna be something similar to this. Let's move this here. I'm going to add a couple of ifs here. Make sure you don't put one inside the other one, okay? You put them one after the next, after the previous one, sorry. So, simple. If key right arrow pressed, I'm gonna use those arrows. If you want to use WASD, that's up to you. If key right arrow pressed, I'm gonna move it right. As this is the horizontal axis, the X, when we move right, we increase the number. So we're gonna change X by, and this number is up to you. I'm gonna select 8, for example. And if left arrow pressed, we're gonna change X by a negative number, -8. So now I can move the box very easily. And so far my platformer works perfectly. But it works perfectly because we are on a flat surface, okay? So now let's see what happens if I add a ramp, if I add a block here, a floating platform. So let's see. I'm gonna go back to the ground, costumes again. I'm gonna select the same green, please, same color. Do not take a different color. And I'm going to add here a small block to jump on. I'm gonna add a ramp. I'm gonna put it here. And I'm going to add a floating platform, for example. Could be there. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, it stops on the platform. I can go up the... Why am I moving this? No, okay. Alright, so I can go up and down the slope. I can jump on it. But a couple of problems. If I move left, it automatically climbs the block. Why? Because of the program that I have here in the box, this one there, replace Y down, okay? That changes Y by 1 until we are not touching green color. And something similar occurs when I jump here, okay? So those are two things that I have to fix. And the way to fix it, okay, and this is the new thing that I didn't talk about in the previous video about jumping and gravity, is this. I'm gonna go to the ground, costumes, and here I'm gonna select line. The outline could be, well, 6, for example. And I'm gonna select, if you want, this color, but I'm gonna change it, well, slightly, okay? For example, this. I'm gonna use dark green. So I'm gonna make this. To make straight lines, you have to press Shift, okay? It's under caps lock in your keyboard. And important, I'm gonna select this tool, the cursor. I'm gonna select my line and I'm gonna resize it so that these lines are not above are not as high as this floating platform. All right, so let's leave, I hope you can see it, let's leave this little margin here, and maybe it's better to make this that way. Okay, if you don't understand why, it's quite simple. When this collides here, I want my purple or, well, pink box to be touching only the dark green, so that it doesn't move there, so it will never touch the light green. When it comes from above, I want it to touch only the light green, not the dark green. Okay, as I don't want my box to climb this, I have to do the same there. I'm gonna go here and I'm going to make a line which should be the same color as this, so same width, 6 pixels. Let's take this and this color, and now let's put it here. And as I said, this shouldn't be higher than this platform or block or whatever. So that's created, and now let's program the box so that it can't climb this and it can't go through these walls. Okay? Alright, let's begin. First of all, we're gonna start with the left and right collisions, with the side collisions. And that is gonna be super simple. I'm gonna create 2 blocks and I'm gonna call it replace. In this case, as we're moving in the horizontal axis, replace X. When we're moving right, again, run without screen refresh. Let's put it here. And imagine we're moving right, we're moving that direction. If I'm here, I want to move my box until it is not touching the dark color. Okay? So we're going to change X by, as we want to move it left because it was moving right, -1, and we're going to repeat this until we are not touching, well, I'm gonna take it from here, until we are not touching. And now let's select this color. Let's check if it, well, it's not gonna work, basically because I have to place this block when we're moving right here. Okay, let's try. As you see, I've made it a little bit wider, okay, and this one as well, because I was having problems when trying. And now, as you see, from this side I can't go through, but from the other one, for the moment, I can, and also from here and here. Okay, so well, if you want to see the change, basically this is now 9 points width instead of 6. Okay, but that's something you have to try in your program because you might have some problems. Okay, I hope you don't, but you might have some. So let's go to the code of the box, and now we're gonna create something similar. Replace X, but when we're moving left, again, run without screen refresh, and we're gonna duplicate this basically, but now we're gonna change X by 1. Why? Because if we are moving left and we don't want it to go through, let me stop this, we don't want it to go through, we have to move right, so increase the value of X until we are not touching that. And again, when we're moving left, we're going to replace X. Let's see. Okay, now I can't jump through it. I can't hear, but I can jump there. So let's fix the last thing, which is gonna be replace Y when we're moving up. Run without screen refresh as well, and replace Y when we are jumping up. What did we do right here? Yes. Okay. It's something similar what we have to do. It is repeat this until we're not touching green color, but obviously we're not gonna change X by 1. As we are going up and we want it to move down until it's not touching green, we're gonna repeat it. Well, we're going to repeat change Y by -1 because we want the pink box to go down until we're not touching that color. And also we're gonna set Y velocity to 0, because if we touch here, we don't want it to move up anymore, okay? But when is this going to happen? We want this to happen only when we are moving up. And when are we moving up? When Y velocity is greater than 0. So if Y velocity is greater than 0, so if this is a positive number, so we are moving up, this is going to stop the box, move it here, and then the gravity will continue to move the box to the ground, okay? And we have to place this before the gravity. So we're gonna place it here. And if there are no mistakes, it should work. Let's see. Okay, perfect. I can't jump here, I can't hear. I can't hear either. I can't jump on it. Okay. So I have solved the problem with the collisions that I talked about in the jumping and gravity video, okay? But now maybe you're wondering, okay, that box is fantastic, but we don't want a box. We want a cat, or we want, well, whatever character. Let's imagine you want the initial cat that Scratch provides us with. This one. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna resize the cat to make it as the box. Could be 70 or 60. Okay, that could be good. Maybe 55. The program of the cat, the code of the cat is gonna be very simple. When green flag clicked, forever, the cat is going to go to the box. So if I move the box, the cat follows me. Okay. If you change the size of the box now, if you change this, okay, for example, you put it there. Now when we jump, the ears of the cat are not going to affect, okay? The ears can, I don't know if you can move this, probably not. No, I can't. Okay, the ears of the cat, or for example the feet are not going to be exactly on the ground. So you can modify that as you want. But obviously you don't want to see the box. So well, this is very simple. Let's go to the code, and at the beginning of the program we are going to, where is it? Here. Set ghost effect to 100. And now we're moving the cat. Okay. As you see, the whiskers do not affect the collisions because they are outside the box. The ears do not affect the collisions either. I don't know if you can perceive it. Or the tail doesn't affect the collisions. So this is the great thing of using a box instead of the cat, okay, for the collisions. Now the cat has to face left and right, so that's quite simple. A couple of ifs here. Well, let's put one. If key right arrow pressed, the cat is gonna point to the right. Let's duplicate. In the case of left, press there. That has a problem, and it's this: when I move left, it it turns. Okay, it is upside down. But let's go to direction and select left, right, and now we can move it. And one more thing: if you want your cat to move the feet when it is moving, there are only two costumes here, so it is a very simple sprite. What you have to do is this. My proposal is another program here with a forever, and I usually say, to make it simple, but you can modify it as you wish, if any key pressed, if we're pressing any key, we're gonna be switching costume, but not too fast. So I'm gonna add a wait 0.3 seconds block. If it is not touching any key, or we could put maybe an if else, that's gonna be better. If we're not touching any key, we're going to switch costume to the initial one, which is cat A. And now, as we see, that's finished. Okay, so the collisions are perfect. We can obviously hide this variable. We don't want to see it anymore. I say hide, not eliminate or remove, okay? And alright, that's finished. I think that works very well. Alright, so now let's create 2 more levels. So let's go to the ground, costumes, right click, duplicate. This is gonna be the second level. I'm gonna modify it a little bit. I'm gonna remove the ramp. I'm going to put this here, and I'm gonna create like a kind of stairs. Well, this is not necessary anymore, but let's leave it. And the last one is gonna be, I don't know, something like this. I'm going to add some lava here. No, with this. And maybe we'll make this that way. Okay, not bad. So when we do that, in the ground, we're gonna say when green flag clicked, switch costume to costume number 1. So first level. How are we gonna get the second level or costume number 2? There are many options, okay, lots of options. You could say that when the cat X position is greater than 230, so when the cat reaches this point. But I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna add another sprite, which is gonna be a kind of crystal, this one. So this crystal, at the beginning of my game, when green flag clicked, it's gonna go to this position where it is now. I don't know why it doesn't update, but my crystal is in X 220, Y negative 34. And forever, if my glass is touching the cat, which means that we've been able to reach the crystal or the diamond, or if the crystal is touching the cat, I think I said glass, crystal. If the crystal is touching the cat, First of all, we're gonna hide the crystal to make sure the cat is not touching it anymore and we don't send the message several times or too many times. So let's add a show here, by the way, to make sure it shows at the beginning. I'm going to broadcast level 2 and I'm going to stop this. That shouldn't be necessary, but I want to stop scripts that I'm not going to be using anymore, because if there are too many scripts running at a time, that could slow down the computer, especially if your computer is not very powerful. So stop this script, okay? So when I touch the crystal, okay, it broadcasts level 2. By the way, why doesn't it appear? Okay, it takes some time. I have to fix something. We'll fix it later. So let's go to ground and we're gonna say, when I receive level 2, switch costume to costume 2. Well, we're here, and the cat, when it appears in level 2, well, not the cat, the box, because the cat will go to the box immediately. The box should be here, or maybe here, if you want to see how it moves down. So the box is going to have, when I receive level 2, go to this position where it is now. Let's update it now. Jump. Okay, and now we're here. So now we have to jump there, and the crystal should be here. So let's do it. When I receive level 2, which is the message it has sent, okay, it's receiving its own message, the crystal, I'm gonna show it, the crystal is gonna be here. So this position, and make sure it coincides this with this, okay? And again, let's repeat this. By the way, we have to show it. And this forever. So again, if touching cat, when it is in level 2, we're gonna hide, and we're gonna broadcast level 3 and stop the script. And the same, when I receive level 3, switch costume to costume 3, the box, well, let's see level 3, I don't remember what it looks like. Okay, so the box should appear here, when it receives level 3. It could be the same part, I think. And as this is lava, we have to make sure that the cat cannot touch that lava. So that could be here, for example. We could add, if touching this color, you can do many things. You can broadcast a game over message, and then you stop the cat script or the box script and you show a game over message, whatever you want. But to make it simple, and in order not to make this tutorial too long, I'm going to stop all and no one can play anymore, okay? So let's see. I took it. Okay, that works very well. And obviously the cat, why didn't it go there? Oh, I made a mistake here. Level 3. Alright, let's repeat it. Okay, now we're here. If I touch this, I've lost. Okay, I know that's too simple when you see the purple thing, but well, that's something you can fix if you want. And if I jump here, this crystal should appear where? Maybe there. That's in level 3. Now let's copy this basically. When I receive level 3, go to this position, -109, show, and if touching cat, we're gonna broadcast victory. And the cat is gonna say, when it receives victory, the cat is gonna say, we're the best. We are the best. To make it more difficult, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna insert a sprite from fantasy, for example, I don't know, this dragon. I'm gonna make it smaller. And this dragon is gonna be moving here. Okay? So, this dragon, when green flag clicked, is gonna be hidden, but when I receive level 3, that's gonna go there. So go to, this is not updated again. So make sure when you pick this, make sure this coincides. In this case it doesn't. Don't know why, because it should. Well, go here, then show, and it's gonna be gliding from the top to the bottom. So it's gonna glide there. It's not updated again. So 144, -75. No, not go to, sorry. Should be glide. Let's repeat. 75, and now it's gonna glide there again to this position. So 113, 119. Let's see if it doesn't. Okay. Let's pick the same number in the X so that it doesn't move diagonally. Okay. And this here as well. And the cat cannot touch the dragon. So if touching this, or, well, you can put an or duplicate this and put it here. That's up to you. I'm gonna put an or. If touching red color or touching dragon, stop all. Let's start. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna touch it. Okay, I lost. Oh, one thing. If we win, we should remove the dragon. So, when I receive victory, I'm gonna hide the dragon. Let's see now. Good job. Good job. And we are the best. Okay, obviously if I fall into the lava, I lose. But well, that's the end. Alright, I'm gonna stop here. As you see, it's not a very simple tutorial, it takes some time to make it. But well, the results can be great. This is only the beginning. But if you want, you can add better backdrops, you can add better decoration, you can improve that as much as you want. And I will be looking forward to seeing your projects. Okay, so send them to me when you have them. See you guys. Bye bye.